Welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz Love Talk. I'm so grateful to have a wonderful, rich conversation with Carlin and David about the Light of Truth, the new exhibition over at the Schwartzman Center that opens today. So you can go there every single day and walk through and check it out from the top to the bottom. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna try to go see it today. You know, uh, I'm gonna try to see it. I'm looking forward to it. I tell you, when I was on Instagram and I saw some of the exhibit, I was like, whoa! I didn't know it was gonna get down like that. So this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Uh, so let me tell you what I watched this weekend, which I was so enchanted with. And Harry, I don't know if you'd be interested, but you might because it's fun. I watched Netflix's The Residents, and I gotta tell you that doggone thing. If it's giving me it feels like a British show because it's so well done. You know, the Brits like a well done. They like a snappy, they like snappy repartee, and it's just and the choreography of all the moving parts. It's just giving me that vibe, and I just I just loved it. So I don't know how they do this again, but they should do it again. I feel like I want to know more about this particular character. Um, let's see. I could tell you now. I just found out just the other day. So it's Uzu Aduba who plays Cordelia Cup. Andre Brower, because every time I pulled it up, it kept giving me Andre Brower. And I was like, Andre Brower? It's like he passed away. He's not in this. And then I was like, well, maybe I gotta watch it again. Maybe he makes a cameo, or maybe they have a picture, or maybe he's referenced. Well, come to find out, they started shooting this and he suddenly died. And that's how Giancarlo Esposito became A.B. Winter. It was initially Andre Brower, and they shot scenes. Giancarlo Esposito posted up the scenes that Andre Brower was in, and said he nice accolades about him, and and the taking over this role from this amazing actor. So it's such a good story, though. I hope they do it like they have to. I would bet money that another murder happens in that White House. I just I would suggest that. It was like another murder. So she comes back, you know. It's just good. It's like 8 episodes. I binged it. I started it like that's what I did on Saturday. I started it early afternoon because I was wore out. So I was home and I was like, oh, this will be perfect. And it's such a fun little show. I might watch it again only because I liked it. I liked it so much. And I liked her, you know. I liked her so much, you know. Uzo Aduba. Uh, she's just wonderful. And y'all know her from Orange is the New Black. I never really got into Orange is the New Black, although I consider Piper Kernan someone that I know, an acquaintance. She's an acquaintance. And but I never really got into I don't care for that kind of. I mean, I was there, so I don't need to watch it. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't need to have that experience of remembering what it was like to be in Danbury Federal Prison Camp. I mean, I don't wear khakis to this day because of that experience. I just don't. I don't wear khakis. Not tan, not green, nothing. And that's just, and nothing bad happened to me. I'm just saying, I'm not wearing prison clothes. So for me, khakis always represents prison clothes. I know I probably could get over it, but I'm not. So there you go. I'm gonna leave it at that. So yeah, so if you have opportunity, it's a wonderful little 8 episode series that's a who done it, and it's quirky and it's fun and it's full of all kinds of little twists and turns, and you're like, who did it, who did it, who done it, who done it. So it's pretty good. So if you have time, you want something to watch, that's the one. uh that's the one. That's the one to watch. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go for that. I'm on the independent site because I guess there's news. I haven't caught up to this, so I'm scrolling through. Uh, a fatal crash. Let's see, the victims of July 2024 fatal crash. Uh, Deja Knight and with her mom, Madison Hiker, at her high school graduation. So what was the accident? I'm trying to understand what happened. The victims. Oh, so the two of them? Okay. Oh, so Deja and Madison were the victims in this crash. Okay, so one driver's decision to drive past the double yellow line on Middletown Avenue caused a 3-vehicle crash that killed 2 people and severely injured 6 others. So they arrested a man behind the wheel, along with another driver who purportedly fled the scene. I don't. People need to understand that cars are, a couple of ton size, you know, heavy, and people die. You could kill people with a car. Y'all know that. You don't need me. You don't need me to tell you. So you don't need me to tell you that. But still, it's just so hard to see that when you would think something this simple could just be just everybody drive with some sense. But you know, uh, that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Well, I'm over at the New Haven Independent site. I'm about to run over to the inner city site, and I have the hard papers, and I put in the little library, and on the cover of the inner city is uh, the event that took place on the green about the last two enslaved folks sold on the New Haven Green. Um, so that's on the cover. So lots to see, lots to do. We are, Dr. Amina, yeah, Reverend Dr. Jamal Bryant, Black Church targets boycott, mobilizes 150,000 people to boycott. I think they got a whole list, but they're starting with Target. And Target was like, we, in so many words, we depend on Black folks doing Easter shopping and they're not doing it. I don't know what these retailers, they allowed Trump to write a check that their asses can't cash. Because you know how we do once we get our mind made up. Now there'll be some of us who'll go in there because that's just how some of us are. They're not going to move with what's in the best interest of the of the masses. They're going to do their own thing and justify that, which is it's always been like that. It's always going to be like that. It's always going to be people who cannot you know join or be a part of, even for the greater good. They're not interested in making a difference. They're only interested in their own self-preservation. And if it sounds like I'm saying it with disdain, I am. Because this is what I know. This is what I always know. That the folks who don't lift a finger to support, help, carry the word, carry any weight, they will benefit from the ones that do. There's no teasing that out. The people who are doing the boycott for the greater good, the people who don't participate, the people who don't care, who will go to Target, they will benefit from this work. That's just what it is. It's like people who don't vote, but they benefit from the ones who do. When people don't vote, they don't realize that they do more harm than good, but they don't care because first of all, they don't know anything about history. They stand on their ignorance and stupidity. They do. And then complain when, with that see, yeah, because you didn't do your part. So what you have decided when you abdicate your right to vote is you're saying, I'm just going to allow whomever make decisions about my ordinary, everyday, practical life. That's what you do. And it's hard to tell people that. We could say all day how many people lost their lives to this fight for the right to vote. John Lewis, we saw, the beating at the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Like, we saw it. It was recorded. And still, he was a living witness to that. We saw the church, the bombing of the Birmingham church. We saw this. We have awareness. So we know people have been in the struggle and the fight. We know the story of Harriet Tubman. We know the story of Ida B. Wells. We know the story of Sojourner Truth. We know the story of Frederick Douglass. We know the story of Carter G. Woodson. We know the story of W.E.B. Du Bois. We know all these stories of all these people that came before us that laid the foundation. And still people are like, well, I don't care. That was a long time ago. And I don't concern myself with what white people do. I concern myself with what Black people do. And this disillusionment. Well, like somehow or other, they treat elections like less than they do American Idol. And I mean every bit of this disdain and scorn, because it's outrageous and it's ridiculous. But this is what I know, and I say this: they will benefit from the work that people put in to secure the right to vote for all of us. Even the ones who don't vote, they will benefit. And I don't think we should spend any time trying to convince these people to be on the right side of history. It's just not worth it. That's why I'm not interested in having conversations on why people voted for Donald Trump. I know why you voted for Donald Trump, because he hates all the same people you hate. That goes for everybody that voted for him. Don't give me this BS about he was a businessman. That man had several failed casinos. He holds the record for the private citizen with the most bankruptcies. That is not a businessman. That's somebody who don't know what the hell they're doing. And if his daddy didn't give him millions and millions of dollars that he blew, and if he didn't go over there and get pimped out by the Russians, so don't give me the businessman spiel, because he didn't even write the art of the deal. That's crap. He did so bad at Wharton that they won't even release they were like, no, we're not gonna release his grades or any of that personal information. You know why they're not gonna release it? Because then they would have to admit that they let him in because his daddy could pay for it and threw some money at them. And what's the harm? Because he was a terrible student, as evidence of the way he talks and the way he is and the way he runs his life. He was a terrible student. We know this. So to all the people that voted for Donald Trump, don't come to me with this. He's a businessman and he speaks, says what he means. What you are saying, what I hear you say is he hates all the people I hate. That's niggers, Jews, gays, trans, and women. He hates those people and immigrants, except immigrants who are white. Anybody else, he hates. So when you say to me, you voted for him twice, that's what I hear. You don't like niggas, you don't like Jews, you don't like gays, you don't like trans, you don't like immigrants, and you do not like women. That's it. That is it. I don't want to hear nothing else. I'm not interested in trying to dissect, excavate, get to the heart of why they chose Trump. It is clearly obvious to me why they chose this fool. And now, guess what happens? You thought, oh, this is going to be so good. We're finally going to get a piece of the pot. We're going to show these people who we hate who is in charge. And guess what happens? Y'all losing the jobs. Veterans getting thrown out of their jobs. People who work in education are getting thrown out of their jobs. People who run the government are, okay. This is what it is. 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 So now you're starting to, listen, your vote is your vote. They can't go back and give it back to you. Now you gotta wait. Now you gotta wait. You gotta wait. So, and I use offending language, one, because I can, two, because I want to ruffle some feathers and piss people off. Because that's the language of racist. I could say he doesn't like black people and African Americans. That's not how they talk in them circles. That is not how they talk in those circles. They use the N-word freely and unapologetically. So when people were like, oh, I want to spend time talking to these Trump supporters because I want to get to the heart of how they think. No, you don't. What you really want to do, what you really should do, is accept the fact that what you see is who they are. There's no depth to this. There's no bigger psychological analyze that needs to happen. What these people are doing and have done is voted against their best interest. They voted against their own interest. That's the only truth. Donald Trump hates who they hate, and so they align themselves. Look at all these Venezuelans who now feel betrayed. Are you kidding? Really? You feel betrayed? He told you what he was going to do. Oh, you thought some other Venezuelans, those who are here illegally. How are they going to tell by walking down the street who's illegal? They're going to racial profile. And then you know what's going to happen? Your asses are going to get scooped up. And then you're going to sit in a detention center. They're not going to let you have legal representation. They're not going to let you call. You're going to have to sit there for a minute until they feel like they want to sort it out. And then you can call your peoples. They can run down there with all your papers and say, look, I'm not one of them. But by that time, sugar dumplings, he has already gotten the optics of marching your asses to a detention center, to a flight, to the border. He's already got, it was about the optics anyway. It was only about the optics. Listen, anytime you're going to fly people, they don't spend more money flying people to Guantanamo Bay, back to the States. Now they flying them somewhere else. Seriously. Because they want the optics. Because they're not getting the optics. They're not getting these mass raids and these people, you know, showing you on the news. Look, we rounded up a cartel. Look, we rounded. That's all they want. They want the optics to go along with the BS. I'm rounding up immigrants, the illegals. Seriously, do you know how much undocumented people support the American economy? Do you even know? No, because you're not thinking. But you want to go to the grocery store and bitch and complain about $20 worth of a dozen eggs. And you can't make the correlation between your stupidity and ignorance around what is really happening here. You just like, rah. Send them back. Meanwhile, farmers in these United States are losing crops by the minute because these folks are not, and even the ones who have green cards, they're not coming to work because they understand, even if they have their papers, they're going to get picked up and they're going to be detained. And who needs that? And by the time they sort it all out, these people are in a foreign country. They don't even know what is happening. See, and this is why you dumb down the populace, because when you dumb down the populace, they're not going to think. They're not going to string they're not going to connect the dots. They're not going to do their due diligence. They're not going to think about further along. They're not going to think about consequences. They're only going to be like, yeah. Get him. Those people. Until those people are them. So when you don't get your Social Security check, when you don't know where your student loan goes and they want to snatch that from people, right? They want to siphon it off to other entities. But this is what you voted for. And you voted for this because you didn't want a black ass qualified woman sitting in that Oval Office. That's the only reason why all of this is going the way it's going, because they could not imagine a black woman sitting in the highest office in the world and being the leader of the free world. They couldn't abide it. And people could say all kinds of stupidness, but at the root of it, at the heart of it, it was because she was black. And don't give me this mess about Obama. Obama was amazing and a novelty. I was like, okay, we one and done. We could do one. Because at the end of the day, he's a man. He's a black man, but he's a man. They was not abiding a woman. Not a white woman, not a black woman, not a woman. It's something about breast and vaginas that drive these white men and 2% black men out of their minds for leadership. That's it. That's at the heart of it. You can say whatever you want. People will start this old policy mess. Like Donald Trump got policies? Are you kidding me? And you know, when I listen to these people talk about, you know, why she couldn't win or why, it's all crap. It's all, listen, at the end of the day, she is a woman. That's number one. Number two, she's a black woman. Number three, she's an Asian black ass woman. They couldn't stand it. And I dare say, if she was president right now, we would not be sitting in this situation we're sitting in. We would not be sitting in this situation. You know why China is so way ahead of us intellectually? Now, listen, I'm not discounting their human rights violations because they stand on that. They stand on human rights violations. But guess what they had? Guess what? They haven't been at war with anybody in the last however many years, 50 years, 100 years. They ain't been at war with nobody. So they didn't invest in war the way the United States has invested in war over the last 100 years. So they got high-speed rail. They got efficiency. They got all those things because now, granted, they not granted, they not invested in the human condition over there. They're not doing that. But we have decided to invest in war, and that has been the reason why we are in the situation that we're in. You know, we invest heavily in war, which it makes no sense. But you know, and I did this years and years ago. There's cheaper ways to kill a whole bunch of people. I mean, if the goal is to kill a bunch of people, there's easier, cheaper ways to do it. Easier, cheaper ways to kill a whole bunch of people. Now that might sound inhumane. I'm trying to understand where the inhumanity is. The way we kill people or the fact that we kill people? Because to me, it's one and the same. I don't care how you kill people. The common denominator is you're killing people. What? So you would rather shoot them, bomb them, put mines in the ground, all that kind of stuff. But you don't want to poison them or set them on fire. Like, there's some lines to this. We have lost our moral compass completely. And I don't even care that Donald Trump is a felon. For me, that's not the biggest insult. It's that he's stupid. And he needs a whole lot of flattery. And he's a dummy. That's the most insulting thing for me. I don't care about. I know plenty of felons who have turned their lives around, who are amazing in their community. Listen, Martha Stewart is a felon, and she runs a whole damn empire. I'm just saying. I don't care that he's a felon. That in and of itself is not enough for me to condemn him. Maybe because I'm a felon and I get it. Because for me, when you just say, "Oh, he's a felon," then that negates all the second chances. It negates re-entry. It negates all the things that we say we are trying to build so that people could come back into community. See, that's the problem I have with just like, "Oh, he's a felon, he's a felon, he's a felon." That's not why you dislike him. You dislike him because he is an idiot and he usurps laws and authority. That's why you dislike him. That's why we can't abide him. Please. So that's just too easy to be like, "Hey, he's a felon. Why is he a felon in the office?" That's not the problem. That is not the problem. How he conducts himself with no moral compass, no integrity, no concern, no empathy, nothing. That is the real offense to me. That is the real offense. And we spend too much time trying to, "Oh, he's a felon. He's a felon." Yeah, cut that noise. What you want to say is he has no integrity. He has no moral compass. You know, he's stupid. He's not well read. He's not well traveled. You know, he's a buffoon. He's pompous. He's arrogant. He's a racist. He's a misogynist. All of that, which I think is a bigger deal than just being a felon in and of itself is not the problem. It's not the problem. You know, these people voted for him because he hates the same people they hate. And they feel good about that. They feel really good about that. He hates black folks and any kind of black folks, Africans, Haitians, Caribbean, all hates any black people from anywhere. hates them, hates immigrants of any sort except white immigrants. And you can't be white Latino presenting. You can't be Latino white presenting because he hates you too. So no. He hates all the people that you hate. He hates women. Hates them. Unless they got tits and blonde hair, he don't like them. Does not like them. Doesn't like gays. Doesn't like trans. Doesn't like binary, non-binary. He doesn't like any of those folks. None of them. So we've got a country full of people who feel this way. And he speaks to those people. And I know people are like, ooh, why don't we find out why they hate them? Because it goes against what they believe is whiteness and supremacy. That's it. That's it. That's it. And I don't want to hear these people in their religious foolishness. I don't want to hear that. That's not the excuse either. You know, it's easy. Oh, the Bible. Listen, the Bible says a lot of stuff. The Bible says you can't wear two different kinds of cloths together. The Bible says fathers can sell their daughters. Come on. The Bible, is that what we standing on? Seriously? Because that's some other crap. And when religious people, homosexuality, cut it out. They only say that because they know that is the rallying cry to keep people in them pews coughing up their money. I'm not cynical. I'm not cynical at all. It's just that these people know how to attract and rev up the people that hate the same things they hate. And some of these churches, probably ministers or the people who make these calls out to like, ooh, they probably don't even hate gay people or whatever, but they know it's an easy to do to keep that money in that church. You know, I know it sounds cynical. I'm not cynical. I am a hopeless, optimistic romantic. I believe in God. I believe in Christ. I believe in the mystery and the magic of the Bible and other sacred scripture. I believe in that. But I also am a thinking person. That's it. So I got a guest tomorrow. Somebody's coming on tomorrow. It'll be a surprise, I think. It's called The Gift. The folks from The Gift are coming on tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow, 10:15. And I'll be back. So y'all take good care. And put on your galoshes. It's rainy. And it's cold. So thanks, Harry. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Silver platter, would it even matter? You'd still be mad at me if I could find in all this a dozen roses which I would give to you.